Good. All right. Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson here, Family First Life America. Excited to be on with you guys today. I'm going to give it, take that. See what you can do. See if you can give it to Jade. Okay. Let me start that again. Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson here, Family First Life America, the America Agency. Excited to be on with you today. You are going to love today's call. Do me a favor, drop in the chat where you are joining me from. I always love to say hi to you all, where you're coming from, how far you traveled, or how far or where you're clicking in from. Today's a phenomenal call. I'm beyond excited for you guys to learn from this man. I had a chance to meet him at convention just briefly and then heard his story on stage. And I mean, you're in for a treat. I mean, we live in a digital age, in a virtual world that's also very tactile and physical at the same standpoint, because human interaction is the key to evolution. But at the same standpoint, we're in a position where you can build a business all from your computer, and you don't have to only do it in Omaha, Nebraska, or Northern Idaho, or Phoenix, Arizona, or Florida, or Montana, or where the heck do they live? They're in no, that's where they're getting married. Auburn, California. Doesn't matter where you're at, because you can be in Virginia or Midland or that's North Idaho. See, I said without even seeing it down there. Youngstown, Ohio, Sacramento, Texas, etc. And you can build a business. You can sell insurance, you can help people, and you can put yourself in a position where you can grow something and protect clients and make money for your family. And that's what today's call is about. We're going to learn from Tierre Brown about how he lives in Florida 6 months out of the year, and then travels around Europe 6 months out of the year. And that's a pretty incredible opportunity for anyone in today's day and age that want to learn how to do that. I know I have a couple agents that go to Colombia, they go to Costa Rica, they live in Mexico, but they do okay. But this guy is doing it at an incredibly high level. So we're coming off our convention. It was a tremendous event. And I'll touch more on that here in a second. But I'm excited for you guys to be here. Excited to be back. I have so many incredible guests coming up, but going to be leading off with Tierre. He's going to do a phenomenal job for us all today, talking about what he does with IULs, how he sells them, how he finds fixed index annuities, and at the same standpoint, supports and builds his agency at the exact same time. So let's run through some quick updates. As well, my always asterisk to everybody is a party is always fun with more people. So if you can share the americaagency.com/live. They will land right on this page. You can also watch us live on YouTube, Instagram, or live on Facebook from all three of our different distribution channels. So excited for that as well. So good to see so many of you from California, Omaha, Nebraska, Texas, Delray Beach, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, etc. So good to see you all. But let's jump into a couple quick updates while we continue. People continue to join, and we will get this thing rolling here in just a couple minutes. So updates today. Discount code. Obviously, we have a corporate and integrity always put out a discount code as often as they can to help, being honest, to move some of the leads that they've got. But at the same standpoint, we get to benefit, right? A lead is just a client that hasn't become a client yet. There's someone that has a family, someone they want to protect, someone that they've thought so much about putting life insurance on themselves to protect the ones they love that they put their information in the internet. They called in a phone number, they filled out a card and mailed it in, and they're waiting for us to reach out to them and help them get protected with insurance. Pretty incredible. So right now, diamond, gold, silver, bronze, plan enroll leads, and also final expense real-time leads, real-time call leads, and other plan enroll a whole bunch of leads are on sale right now for 50% off. Started, when's it starting, China? Oh, it started on the 13th of January, and it's active right now till the 28th of February. So if you need leads, if you want to work the numbers, if you need volume of clients to call, if you're a new agent and you just go, I don't know who to call, well, take advantage of some of these 50% off leads of people that are looking for coverage. Get in Lead Center, get in the CRM, order yourself some leads and get yourself going and put yourself in a position where you've got people to protect today. So Ambition 25 is the code for 50% off those leads. Pretty cool. Nitro Leads, good support of FFL. They've done a great job for years now. 10% off those IUL leads, which is taking our production by storm. Flashback a few years ago, FFL was probably doing less than 5% IUL business. This past year, we got right around 40% IUL business coming out of our company. Just a testament to the quality of agents we have, the quality of our training, the quality of opportunity, our commission level, all the great things, plus our producer bonuses, our vice president bonuses, all the things that lead towards people going, this is where I want to sell. This is where I want to build my business. This is where I want to protect families and build business for my own family at the same time. So thank you, Nitro, for the discount. Use code FFL and capitalize on that today. Retreat. Our retreat has been going now for a couple hundred days. We've got, how many total people, Jay, do you know, have qualified? 150 people have qualified so far. 84 days left to qualify. So plenty of time if you've been selling with us, plenty of time if you're brand new with us, about 3 months to get after it, have some huge months and earn your room at the Cancun retreat. We've done a cruise a couple years back to back and talked to Sean, talked to corporate, and they made the decision to move forward with a more of a, let's all go to one big, huge hotel and rent the whole thing out. And what's cool about the way they're doing this is a 250,000 issue paid and you're in. And from there, the more you produce, the bigger and better view and your room gets, and your jacuzzi on the patio and a butler, you know, putting away your underwear, you know, all the things that, you know, you can get at super fancy hotels. So 84 days left to qualify. It will be at the, do we have a slide? The Waldorf Astoria. Holy cow. The Waldorf Astoria in Cancun. So take advantage of that. You have just go sell some insurance and corporate will track your numbers. If you're close, you know, one thing as a manager, right? Anchor your team towards the future. Set a goal on going together. How many people from your agency will you have there? How many people you have there with you as you qualify for it, and make that a reward trip for your team. Go enjoy it. Go have a blast and be wined and dined and taken care of. But because you know, one of the beautiful things about FFL is not only do we have crazy high compensation and contract rates, not only do we have producer bonus that comes from corporate paid on top of your total production, vice president bonuses if you're building a team. We also have carrier bonuses and trips. So the more if you're the You First bonus with Americo, Mutual of Omaha has their own bonus program. F&G has trips. NLG has trips. Ethos has their 20% off bonus now. All of these additional perks you get just by doing your job. What's your job? Your job is to wake up each day with the intent to help a family. Every single day I wake up and go, how many families can I help? How many agents can I help families? And that thought process is one that wakes me up excited to seize the day every single day, and one that I hope that gets you excited. And if you're not excited, you need to revisit how incredible this opportunity is. But on top of all those things, from the comp to the bonuses to the cash bonuses from the carriers to the trips from the carriers, corporate's throwing their own trip at you on top of it. So you can qualify Hilton, Waldorf, Astoria, Cancun. 150 spots are taken, 150 are left, but I imagine we're going to be starting knocking them down seriously coming out of convention. 84 days left to qualify. As much as you can produce here in February, March, and April. Qualification period ends May 1st. Get yourself there, get your team there, and put yourself in a business model where you can truly capitalize on what you're trying to accomplish, which is living a great life. Put yourself in a position where you live a great life by going out there, producing, and winning. So thank you to everybody who's making a run, and to everybody who's out there pushing and going for it. But that's the exciting part about business is you get to choose how big of a business you want to have. You want to have no business? Don't dial the phone. You want to have a huge business? Heck, dial like crazy. So excited for all those that are going for it. And we got some new credits, qualifiers, new qualifiers. Sheila Day, Linda L, and Jessica B have qualified with annuity points. So there's an annuity caveat to it as well. I would reach out to the SRS team. I'm not 100% sure, but apparently 1,509 points gets you in. 1,643 points definitely gets you in. And Sheila Day crushing it with 2,442 points. It's got to have, I would imagine, I think Sheila wrote a $2.2 million annuity, and that correlates, and maybe the little couple other annuities with life, etc. But we've got an annuity channel and a life channel as well. So Exciting stuff, guys. Convention just passed. Wonderful event. I mean, being totally candid and totally transparent, for me personally, it was the best FFL event I've ever been to. And I feel like I say that every year, but I might not have always meant it, because I was always in the middle of the business, solving problems and fixing things and moving the business forward. But personally, to see the rise of the young agent who's grinding out in the office, from the Wiley Hawkins and the Stanley Smiths and dude, my man himself, Mr. Jay Maska, to see what they're doing in offices. I know there's lots of offices out there and a lot of people that are making it happen, but it's just incredible to see an opportunity for young people to get together in an office. And I was talking with this about a lot of leadership, and I'm reflecting back to my early days in the business, running door to door. And you know how you sold policies? You'd show up in Dockers and a polo with a leather bag, a Samsonite bag. I bought at TJ Maxx, and I'd have my folders and my product brochures, and I'd knock on the door and hope they were home at the time we booked the appointment. And then they would, judge me based on my physical appearance. And I'd go in the house and take my shoes off and direct them towards the kitchen table. And that's how we sold life insurance. That is the way that 99% of the business was sold up until 2021. And you fast forward to today in 2025, and we now have people of all ages, as long as they can convey confidence on the phone to that client that they're going to do what's best for their interest and take care of them and be there when that worst day comes. They're not being judged on their age or their appearance. They're being judged on their knowledge and their confidence on the phone. And that's a great place to be, because they shouldn't be judged on their physical appearance. They should be judged on how well they can serve that client. And today and now, we're seeing this massive rise in young people that's sub 25 years old, that they have a sales vehicle here within FFL, within our agency, within insurance, that they can truly make great money in life insurance sales. And so at the same pendulum swing, we look to our more young at heart agents that are mature of mind. They see retirement on the edge in their own life, and they go, you know what? A great product that can serve these families is an IUL. Tax-free retirement income, the living benefits associated, the death benefits associated with that, all those things add up and put together a great product that people need, right? And especially if we look at persistency of whole life and persistency of term being in the 65, 68, 70%, meaning that just generally about a third of those policies fall off. Either the client switch policies or budget constraints, or lack of desire to truly get it early on. But we look at an IUL type product and we're seeing 90-95% persistency, because people, they're more committed towards their retirement. They're more committed to the value of those living benefits. They're more mature of mind as they buy those products, as those are the type of leads that are seeking out that type of product. And that volume of business from both sides is just exploding in our company. To sit there at 9 a.m., 9:01 a.m. on Thursday morning, and that room be almost 100% full, it's a testament to what we've got going on here. So I'm proud of all of you for being here. I'm proud of those who went to convention, or those that are not going to miss the next one. But the reality, though, is we have an incredible opportunity here that people of all ages are taking advantage of. People of all skill sets and mindsets are taking advantage of it. I couldn't be more excited for the future, especially coming out of our annual convention. So thank you to all that joined. Thank you to all that spoke. Thank you to all that trained. Thank you to all that I got to interact with. And I'm telling you guys, if you're joining me now, we got a lineup of some incredible trainers coming up here the next few months. So, keep this time slot booked in your calendar, and I'll do my absolute best to pull the best training content we can, deliver it out to you so you can all get better as well and go crush it here now and in the future. So, last but not, a couple final updates, and we'll get Tierre on with us. Again, a party is always fun with more people. So take the link that you're on, share with a few people in your group chats, your WhatsApps, your Discords, and encourage them to come on and learn from Tierre. He's absolutely crushing it right now from an IUL and production standpoint, leading a team. And he'll talk more about that in detail, but you're not going to want to miss this. This is a true businessman who does not play games. He's only playing to win. And I'm excited for you to learn from him. So a couple updates for our own agency. A few years back, we hired a group of people called our underwriting genies, which live inside of our FFL America Slack group, our Slack channel, our Slack workspace within a Slack channel. And the channel inside of our workspace of FFL America has a group of people in our in-home help channel. There we go. I got it all out. But they're there to answer health questions. And so you can go on there at any time. Now we've expanded it. Thank you to some of the leadership. Jay Maska, appreciate you stepping up and helping contribute to growing that and expanding the hours. But male, 77, open heart surgery 12 weeks ago, blood pressure med, heart medicine. Underwriting Genie say we recommend American Amicable Senior Choice. Other option is Corebridge Guaranteed Issue Whole Life. 39-year-old male, Zoloft, Trazodone, and a smoker. If mild or situational, the Underwriting Genies replied, if mild or situational depression diagnosed with within last more or 6 months has not been hospitalized, we recommend Americo HMS 100 or Term 125. If denied, pivot to American Amicable, Term Made Simple. Also stack Moo Guaranteed with ROP or Americo Accidental Death Benefit. I mean, they're right here. They're right here. Then the client goes back, says it's considered severe. Can you get final expense? Try Transamerica immediate solution. If denied, try Transamerica easy solution. Guys, are you struggling with where to place your clients? If you're struggling where to place your clients, take advantage of our Underwriting Genies. They're there to give you some assistance, some guidance. You know, obviously you got to learn these products as you go, but a great place for you as an agent or even a brand new agent is to go in here and look at the last 100 Underwriting Genie resolves and see what they recommend and start to learn these medications and learn these health ailments and learn these things that these clients have going on. If everybody showed up at my door as a 22-year-old female non-smoker triathlete with 2% body fat, we'd have no problem getting them immediate coverage of fully simplified issued products. The problem is most people have got something going on. That's why life has woken them up and they go, I see mortality in my, and I realize my own mortality, and there's a future out there for me that I hope is long, but God forbid it's not. I need to get some life insurance for my family and the ones that I love. And understanding that concept is what our job is to guide where they need to go and what products are best for them and for their situation. And that's your job. Your job is you're a disc jockey of life insurance products. Do I go some country here? Or do I move into some techno over here? Am I putting on a rap to get the mood going? You know what I mean? That's kind of funny. But at the same standpoint, you're trying to delegate where to place these clients to get them protected, because that's your job. Your job is if the phone call ends and you didn't protect them, you screwed up. You lost the sale and you did a disservice to that family. How do we increase that confidence? Well, product knowledge, working through your scripts, repetition to learn how to overcome, the 4 or 5 main objections that every client's going to have, or, I don't know if I can afford it. Do I really need it? I've got coverage at work. I got a policy through the bank. I already have some coverage that I got 10 years ago. It's only $12 for $1 million of life insurance. Like, that's your job, is to navigate those things that they're sharing with you and help put in the position, because they don't have enough. Limra says that like 75% of people, Life Insurance Marketing Research Association, 75% of people are underinsured. And like 25% of people don't have any insurance. So there's a huge marketplace for us and for our products and where we can put people. So the Underwriting Genies are here. They're your 300-pound linebacker. They're your ace in the hole to know exactly quickly and in under 1 minute during those hours starting Monday. So we just expanded their hours. On Monday, they're going to be available from 5 a.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you're on the East Coast, New Jersey, South Carolina, Florida, and you're dialing back to California, you're dialing to Hawaii, the Underwriting Genies are still online to help you. Can you drop a UG in the chat below just to show some love to the Underwriting Genie, show some support, say thank you. And you're not telling me thank you, you're telling them thank you. They watch these too so they can learn and get better as well. But that's the thing. We want, they're here to support you. They're here to be your ace in the hole and to help you know exactly where to put people so you don't get hung up on the simple product. That's the new agent problem, right? They get in, they get hung up on product knowledge. They get on all the carrier product overviews. And the reality is they're just getting hung up on busy work instead of getting hung up on work. So one final update. We had a great call before convention with Lead Champ Pro, phenomenal CRM that just blew me away from their, managed leads and clients, carrier logins, automated text message, email drips, license and producer verification, AI appointment setting with customer concierge, and increased persistency and minimized chargebacks. Go back and watch that call. Tons of people have gotten started with them, but they've got something like 800 different automations they've built in, from product delivery, client follow-up, a no-show triggers, think about it triggers, drips, all kinds of things to help drastically increase your touch and show rate. Phenomenal product. Use code FFL to lock in your price, and they will take care of you over there. And a quick note from them, and then we will have Tierre Brown coming on in 60 seconds. So without further ado, one final thing. No, we're good. We're good. Having fun yet? I'm having a great time. Here we go. All right, we'll click this up. The sound's not conveying. Sorry about that, guys. Perfect. Can you hear me okay now? We're just always doing a little quick spot check. They can probably hear me, right? We would assume. Perfect. All right. Well, here we go. Lead Champions Creek. Go to their website, book a demo with them, check it out. I'm blown away with what they've built, but I'm more blown away with what Tierre is doing. So let's get on with him, and we'll get rocking and rolling. There he is. How are we doing, sir?
Hey, how's it going, Grady? How's everything?
Going fantastic. Let me give you a proper intro. Let's get this thing rolling. All right. Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson here, the America Agency. Beyond excited to have Tierre Brown on with us. I was just fortunate to be at our annual convention in Dallas, Texas, and saw him speak on stage talking about what he's doing from a business standpoint, what he's doing with IULs. Most importantly, what caught my ear, my eye, and my heart, it was jealousy in regards to the fact that he gets to, or he's built a life, right? Life by design, Timothy Ferriss, where he puts himself in a position where he can live in the States 6 months out of the year and then travel with his family for 6 months out of the year and sell life insurance. And that to me was like, I'm doing this wrong. I need to have a conversation with Chantel about, getting the kids. We're packing up and we're going to go check out Spain and Italy and Greece for a little bit longer period of time. But I'm just blown away with what he's able to do. And then hearing his numbers from his agency, rocking and rolling, his personal production from IULs and FIAs. And if any of you guys have interest in travel or just mirroring an elite producer, this is the call for you. So Tierre, thank you for the time. Thank you for your commitment to your business, and then also being able to carve out a little bit to share with us on what you're doing. So without further ado, I'd love to turn it over to you for a little bit, and more importantly, kind of hear your story, hear how you were doing before, how you got here, and then we can jump into some more like kind of IUL tactical stuff, and then maybe some building stuff if we have time.
No problem. And I'm an open book, so feel free to ask me anything. I'm pretty transparent with everything. I probably don't have the same energy level for sure. Pretty boring, consistent guy in most cases. But yeah, I mean, my story background, I worked in federal government. I was doing that for like 17 years. And even when I was in the government, I had to do a lot of travel in general, travel overseas and all over the US, but I could never take my family. It was never an extended trip. It was always like I remember the trip I always had to take every year, leave from DC, go to Honolulu, like leave on a Monday, go to an office in Honolulu on a Tuesday, and I'm out by Wednesday back heading to DC. Like
Oh,
it's ridiculous. That's when Alaskan Air used to fly from AID to Honolulu direct. Now they always take a stop in Dallas. But I would always take that trip because I couldn't take my family with me. Um, well, then, like around COVID time, I was working remote in Miami. My office was in DC. I was already working remote for about 9 or 10 years anyway. But around May of 2020 is when I got the call saying, "Hey, all government employees have to come back to work." And when that happened, I was like, hold on, I am so grounded in South Florida. There is no way that I can move back to DC. Like, I put an extension on my home for a disabled family member of my family. Like, he has his own, side, like 900 square feet on his side of the house. Um, so like I was trying to figure out my workaround really. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna fly back and forth? I could do that. I could fly back and forth to DC every single week and do that. But I sat down with my wife and I said, hey, look, I need to figure out a game plan. I'm gonna take a leave of absence for like 3 or 4 months and figure this out. And that's really what I did. I went, and I didn't get to say a lot on the stage. At convention, you're given like 4 minutes and 20 seconds to like blast everything out. So things were cut out. But the true story is I found life insurance by doing a Google YouTube search. How to become a millionaire, what services make millionaires. It was financial services, it was real estate, and it was tech. And I was like, tech, too broad for me. Real estate, already have my license. So let's see financial services. And then I went into financial services, and what do you do with financial services? Oh, you have to get a license. Oh, how do you get a license? Like, I was down this rabbit hole. So in 3 hours, I went from searching to enrolled in school. Nobody recruited me. Uh, did my schooling in about a week, took my license exam. Remember, it's 150 questions. You don't have to get them all right. You have to get most of them right, right? Not a big deal. So I did that and passed the test, and then all my phone started exploding. I had Ivan Vendroff and Mark Mead's group and all these logos calling me. Had no idea what was what. But yeah, I did a search and I found Steve's name because he sold a lot of insurance. I told my wife that night, hey, I'm going to drive blindly to a stranger that I've never met in person. I'm going to go see if this insurance thing works. And that day we connected. He explained the business. And for me, I was like, if he sold a million, 1,000 families, however you want to say it, if I could just sell like a quarter of that, I could replace my salary. So that's what my focus was. If I could do a quarter, I'd be good. And
Yeah.
I've pretty much done a quarter plus every single year. And I was fine. And then, yeah, after 4 or 5 months, I did, leave. I ended up retiring from that position. And it was hard because I was going to take, do you stay in Miami where I was grounded and I love, or do I go back to DC with a guaranteed promotion? Do I take a risk on myself? But honestly, I was taking, being able to play tennis in February versus cold weather.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, so that's background, right? When I started, I was in final expense and term. Steve said, go make appointments, go knock on people's doors, drive through gates, put in access codes to get into communities, do all that, cold door knock, make yourself available all day long, every single day. So I sat down my wife. I sat down my 2 kids at the time. They were like 8 and 9. Imagine I was dad that picked them up from volleyball, picked them up from dance, and I had to literally sit them down, 2 little girls, and say, hey, I'm going to miss stuff. They just cried instantly cried because dad's not going to be there to pick them up, take them from ballet. We used to go from soccer to ballet in the same day. They were dirty, and I would take them to ballet and say, change. We don't have time to shower or clean up or baby wipe your knees. We would just go straight there. But now in insurance, I had to give it all to really learn it and have a foundation of it and then take it from there. How do I scale this? Am I going to be able to find 10 people like me that would be away from their family 8 to 10 hours a day? Or do we need to do it by phone? So I tried the phone thing myself. I transitioned myself to the phones and I didn't like it so much. Then I transitioned to Zooms and I had a better closing ratio because it was kind of like I was in your house, but you didn't have to clean up. And I didn't, neither one of us had to wear pants. I really didn't care. Like, we're all in flip flops and polos and baseball caps. It didn't really matter. Um, so then when I was doing by Zooms, I did a lot of mortgage protection, final expense stuff. And then one day, kind of cold turkey, I looked at my persistency numbers and I was just like, I need to get a higher persistency. What type of business does higher persistency? So I stopped writing business like 1 month. This is like October of 21, I think it was. And then I didn't start writing business again until January of 22 because I turned off my BPLs, I turned off my lead flow, I turned off everything and activated it all for IULs and annuity business. And that's what I started with. And I said, okay, if I spend whatever I spend on leads, I'm going to make that up. The goal is 3x the return. Then once I started going, I said, oh, this is duplicatable. I can get somebody to have 5 or 6 Zooms a day, 10 to 12 discovery calls a week, 5 to 6 Zooms, let's say, and they can do this process. And just the way I am and the way I train it is very boring. It's very conversational. It's not that complicated. But I tell all the leaders on my team, all my managers like Blake and Angie and Larry and the up and coming ones, once you figure out your process, then add your own little special sauce to it that makes it special. Until then, defer to the boring, consistent way that I teach it.
That's awesome. So, okay. So, married, 2 children, government work for 17 years, lots of travel. And then you go, I'm going to become self-employed and going to burn the ships and completely start from scratch. What did you do in those 17 years with government work that had built within you this sort of tenacity and drive that gave you the confidence? I mean, we're all confident as men and providers or humans and whatnot, but fearless confidence to go, you know what, I want to stay in Florida, and we can move back. Like, most people would take the promotion and the more money and go, this is what we're doing. When the girls graduate in 10 years, we can move back to Florida. But you said no. Like, where did
yeah, where'd it come from? Honestly, was the home we have in South Florida, our lifestyle. I was remote for 8 years in Miami. So the lifestyle is completely different. I've lived in DC before in that area, and I'm really not a fan of cold weather or snow or layering. It's not my thing. My kids were born in Fairfax, Virginia, and it wasn't really an option for me. It was turning away a great job. Like, I loved what I did with the government. I loved it. Um, just I just knew long term I had to kind of make a move. Was it risky? Yeah, but what was the alternative? Was I was on a leave of absence. So if it didn't work out in say 3 or 4 months, I would probably try traveling back and forth. I probably would. But even then, I would have just figured out something else also, because in that position, yes, I was a high level. Like, I only had one person above me in the department, but I still had to ask for time off, and it would get denied. Or it would be like, "Oh yeah, you could take a week off, but take your laptop with you." So I was working the entire time or had to be available the entire time. I remember a few years back, my wife and I, before kids, many years, but before kids, we went to Peru, and we were in Peru, and I had to take my government issued laptop and my personal laptop and a tablet and 3 cell phones that I had with me, and I had to be available all day long. So it wasn't like I was really enjoying it. So now once I figured out, okay, and I wasn't gone, as a disclaimer, I wasn't gone for 6 months straight of last year. It would have been awesome, and that's probably our plan moving forward, but not yet. We got to figure out some things here, but um, we took a trip first in October, and end of October through November. It was supposed to be just like a 2 week, my wife and I and the kids. My kids are homeschooled also, so it kind of helps. They could do it whenever. They could log in whenever. And they've been homeschooled since COVID. They just didn't want to go back because they like going to school just Tuesdays and Thursdays. They get all their work done. They're 2 grades ahead. They're 6th grade and 8th grade doing 8th grade and 10th grade. Like, they love it. They have 5 days off, basically. The only thing that gets in the way right now is volleyball. Volleyball schedule is pretty intense. But December was supposed to be like a 2 week trip, and then we went to Paris in France, and it ended up being, that time was hard because that was my first time away, but my leads didn't stop. So I was very strict with myself in terms of, I need to be on the phones dialing at 12 noon through 12 noon Eastern time through 8 p.m. Eastern time, right? Which was like 6 p.m. local through 2 in the morning.
Got it.
So I did that strict schedule every single day while our first trip. I did that for like 2 weeks, then I did it for 4 weeks. Then I started realizing, man, my clients actually don't talk to me till like 4 or 5 Eastern. Let's do that. Let me do it not until 11 p.m. local time. So then we could basically play the whole day, and then I work at night, and then at any point we take a train somewhere, I just crash out. I just, take a nap. And I'm very easy to like go to sleep. I could just like close my eyes right now and I could probably fall asleep. It's pretty normal. um, but it starts from the leads not stopping.
Got it.
So I never turned off anything. I had a strict schedule, and I just worked. It was that trip was about 5, maybe 6 weeks in Paris.
Wow.
Yeah. So then
Wow.
when my wife was like, "Oh man, I wish we could stay." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but we only have boarding for our two big chubby dogs. We only have it for like another 2 weeks, so we got to get a plane ride back. We got to at least get these dogs because they don't have them. We didn't have them boarded through Christmas and stuff. We only had them boarded to a certain period." Um, and I don't know if you have any pets, but like my dogs are 120 pound like labs. They're like chubby guys. They're not accepted everywhere, you
Got it.
know. They're not like Pomeranians or something. So yeah, we came back and then we were planning our next trip for the summer. And the summer trip we left like in May, and I want to say we came back in August. Um, because my kids had space camp in August. They had space camp in Cocoa Beach in August, so we had to come back so they could go to space camp. It's like a big thing. If you ever been to like South, Florida, space camp is like a big thing.
Cape
It's like a
Canaveral,
lot.
right? Is that it? Cape Canaveral?
Cape Canaveral, it's a lottery, it's a whole bunch of stuff. Like it's a big thing. You get in, you go to it. Kids love it. But when we left in May, I said my schedule's got to be a little different. I was basically working 6 hours ahead the entire time. My leads didn't stop. I still worked the schedule. I was scheduling calls from 4 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most of my leads were East Coast, but then like sometimes I had California leads, which like one time I had a Zoom at 9 o'clock at night, California time. That was like midnight, East Coast. Well, that was 6 in the morning. And I remember that Zoom specifically because this last trip we did Italy, Spain, Greek Isles, Santorini, and Greece. But I remember that one specifically because I was on a Zoom, and then my kids walked in and asked me if I could make breakfast. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's the morning!" But I lost track of time completely because I was just Zooming all night. So I would Zoom basically from like or take calls from 11 p.m. until about 3 in the morning every day.
Wow. Wow. And this was just all over Europe.
Yeah, we flew into Rome. Now we did like Airbnbs basically along the way. It was one way over, and then we figured we'd get a one way back whenever we felt like it. So we did one way over to Rome, and we spent like maybe 2 or 3 weeks in Rome. Then we went Florence. So we were kind of planning the trip along the way, but we always had an Airbnb as kind of like the home base. So we had an Airbnb in Rome that we kept, and then an Airbnb in Florence that we kept. And so we went to like one day we went to Cinque Terre, like on the coast. We did that. We went to Milan a day. We caught a cruise a little south of Milan. Forget the name of the port, but it was like an eight day Greek Isle cruise. So like that week when clients and leads were coming in, because again I didn't stop anything because I have this like feeling from the beginning is like once you stop your lead flow, your momentum stops.
Yeah.
So I was connected to the Royal Caribbean Wi-Fi, texting clients saying, "Yeah, I'm at a conference. Let's check back on the following Monday," because I knew by Monday I'd be in Greece at another Airbnb that I could connect to their Wi-Fi. And that's what I did for like 8 days. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm actually at a conference until this day. Let's schedule." So then that Monday, Tuesday, I told my wife, "Hey, I need more than the regular 11 p.m. to 2 in the morning. I need like 3 p.m. to 2 in the morning." And she was like, go work. Don't worry. Just go take care of your clients." I was like,
I'll take the
"Perfect.
girls to the beach. We'll go. It will be just fun. We'll go get some tea and yeah, I'll have.
Perfect." What my wife has always been super, super awesome with is not giving me FOMO. So she just tells me we're leaving. She doesn't tell me what they're doing, which I love. Like, oh, we're going out. Or I walk out of my office for a second and I don't see her or the kids and I'm like, "Hey, where'd you guys go?" "We left." Perfect. I don't need to know anything else because then I think, "Oh, I should have left," or I get a little FOMO. So I love that she just does that. Um, but yeah, it just honestly, it came down to lead flow not stopping, finding a consistent schedule that worked, locking in appointments really, really good. So when I would tell clients like, "Hey, are you for sure going to be here at this appointment?" Like I really lock it down. Like I would literally tell them, you know, I'm not going to follow up with you. So if you miss the appointment, I'm going to put you on the sheet that says we're never going to sell you this product anymore. Like, we're not going to help you. Nobody from the entire company is going to help you because you didn't show up to an appointment. So make sure you're there. So my appointments were extremely intentional, even if they were discovery calls or Zooms. I barely had any no shows, like really. Um, so yeah, I was zooming in the middle of the night. I was taking naps on trains all over the place. My kids would just kind of bump me and let me know when we're at the next stop. Um, and it was fun. I mean, I had a blast. Like, and the memories with the kids too was pretty amazing. And then the only sacrifice was my sleep. But I'm usually good with like 3 or 4 hours anyway, so it's not a big deal.
That's awesome. So, I mean, just thinking as a father, right? Your Our kids watch us, right? They see the world through their own eyes, but they also the people that are around them the most, they emulate them. Dad comes home 5 o'clock, grabs a six pack, sits on the couch, watches the news, watches sports, passes out, repeat, repeat, repeat. 18 years they move out, right? What does the kid do? That must be life, right? You go, we're going to go travel around Europe. Dad's going to work from his computer, sacrifice sleep so he can spend as much time as possible with you. I still need to manage our business, see clients because dad's a professional, and you're
Hmm.
you're painting this picture for them as the way the world could be for them. And
Oh yeah.
that's so powerful from a like mind expansion of how we want to portray ourselves or how we want to portray to our children what's possible, because
Oh yeah.
that's incredible vision you've painted for them, that this is a possibility.
Yeah, no, and then it's even more possibility fast forward. It's like Miami's great, right? It is great. Um, but like we've been to other places that we like more. Like we love Florence. We love Malaga, Spain. We love certain places, in France. Why are we locked to living here? So, yeah, like our next trip is for Spain, and we just do one ways. And I don't know if we're going to be a month or 2 months or 3 months, or it depends on if my girls also commit to a volleyball schedule.
Yeah.
They do it because they like it, but I was asking my older one earlier today or yesterday morning. I said, "Hey, so do you plan?" She's in eighth grade, right? So do you plan to play volleyball in high school? Maybe if I want to. Okay. Do you plan to be a college athlete? No. So then why are we putting pressure to do it now in eighth grade? Like,
Yeah.
like why do it? And my little one said, "No, I don't plan to do this in college. I don't want to be a college athlete. I want to have my free time." Granted, you only go to school 2 days a week right now. What more free time do you actually need? But so then why just
Mm-hmm.
left? Oh, there you are. My wife and I are really considering looking at other places to live long term. Um, and it may be Miami forever. Like I think of my parents are older and my mother's here and my mother-in-law is here and they're older. But who knows? But I can really do this from wherever, and it's not strenuous. All I need is like a $600 Serta chair, which is really comfortable, a nice foot mat, a raising desk, a couple screens, and it's easy to go. And lead flow doesn't stop.
That's awesome. So let's talk about sales. So you, as you said, you focus on IULs, and by way of IULs, seems like you're finding FIAs. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, I probably shifted more into focusing on so I did IULs for the first 6 months. Big full transparency, when I did go to Europe, I mean, July through I think July through August, I didn't focus so much on IULs because of the timing. I focused on annuities, and really, I hit a big annuity in July, and I was like, okay, I'm only 1.5 away from Hall of Fame. Let me see if I could hit it. So I focused on that really much the rest of the year. So yeah, I finished up the year with like 2.68 mil, like number 10 in FFL annuities, which is super cool. It's like one trophy I have that my upline doesn't have, which is cool. Um, but outside of that, I mean, yeah, it's really IUL structured, and then you find the other stuff as you go along.
Okay, so and so are your leads IUL based, or are they general life, or what are your main leads right now?
Yeah, they're IULs.
So will you just from a training standpoint, will you break down kind of how that goes? I mean, obviously either you're tying them in through a email or text, but then when you get on to present, those are always what I love to, and whatever, if there's part of that email and text, it's a huge component of locking it down, which I think it is. What are the magic words that Tierre says to get these clients to trust you, builds confidence in you, builds confidence in the product that they then
Yeah.
want to move forward, that then you can build this life where you're selling in a tighter window, but still hitting these big numbers. So what are those
Y-
words? What are those
Yes.
things you're
So
doing?
nothing really special, and I tell that to my team too. It's nothing really special. It's almost coming off non-salesy. So during the discovery call, a lot of times clients are weary about even having the call because they think you're going to be sold something. So I tell them within the first 20 seconds, like, hey, by the way, Grady, just so you know, this is not a sales call, and I can't even sell you anything. We're just going to talk. So
Okay.
what happens is the sales pressure comes way down. We're just having a conversation. We're going to keep this conversational and simple. Also, feel free and I always say this, and my wife jokes because our offices are kind of back to back on each other in the house. But I always say, like, look, I'm married with two daughters, so if you need to interrupt me, I'm totally used to it, right? And every client, oh my gosh, man, bless your heart, all this and that. And women are like, yeah, I'm gonna interrupt. I'm like, perfect, don't worry, I won't feel bad at all. And I say that again to bring the sales pressure down. Then we just go over, like, what do you have? What do you currently have now? Do you have a 401k? Do you know how they work? Do you know why an IU, like, when you looked at the IUL information, did you have any questions? You want me to give you a summary? So they have to respond. Very conversational. I also kind of go a little bit into health, but I don't disqualify it at health. So like if a client says like, "Oh yeah, my health is not that great. I had a heart attack." I still don't even really I don't flinch and say, "Oh, an IUL is not for you." Because if you show up to my Zoom, you still want something. You're still looking for coverage. I just then pivot to wherever it is. So I don't do an early disqualification. I think sometimes agents do, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you can't get an IUL. Click, it's gone. They're gone forever. You'll never get them back." So it's a conversation to keep it simple. We'll go over their budget, how much they're saving, how much they're putting in. I've heard people use, the 10% rule, the 5% rule, all of that. I just keep it simple. How much are you putting into your bank account on a monthly basis? Oh, I'm putting 400. Great. Do you like getting 0.01% from the bank? No. How about if we put it somewhere, or maybe we put a little bit of it somewhere where you could get like 8 to 10% year over year? Okay, that sounds good. Great. When can I get you on a Zoom so I can show it to you? Because I need to kind of crunch the data and see what's the right plan for you. I'm not going to just rush into this and do this over the phone with you. So all of mine are pitched to Zooms. Now, if a client says, hey, I don't have time to schedule something later, great. Get your email. I'm going to send you a Zoom link right now and I'm going to one call close it. But I'm still going to show it to you on a Zoom because I need you to see me. Just
Yeah.
like when we were in the field, you would see me.
Yeah.
So during the appointment, it's the same thing. Hey, thanks for showing up to the Zoom. Remember, I'm that goofy guy with baseball cap that got a flamingo on it, right? That's me. I see you didn't dress up. That's great. No problem. So we're just gonna jump into it. I'm gonna share my screen. I generally tell them that I'm not gonna look at my main camera screen because I have a big 55-inch on this wall, so I could see everything. I share my screen. The truth of it is I don't want to look at the video and get distracted with what they're doing. So I don't. I keep the Zoom over there and everything else is on my other screen. So I'm just talking data and hearing them, but eliminating the distraction. and then I build the illustration real time. I'm not crunching any numbers or putting anything together ahead of time because I know how to do it. I could do it real time when they show up. In the beginning, I would always pitch to Zoom because I needed that window to figure out my process. But now I'm just pitching to Zoom just to see if they show up. And I'm okay with that because if they don't show up, they weren't really interested and I dial anyway. But if they show up, pretty much 9 out of 10 we're closing.
It's great.
Yeah.
Those are good numbers.
It's pretty simple. And I would say that's the same with like mostly everybody on my team. Like if you get, 5 or 6 Zooms a week, they're, 5 or 6 clients on Zoom, they're closing, if not 80, 90% of them.
So you're obviously digging into the why, right? Who do you have to protect? What are you currently saving? But then you're going to give a few points on what the IUL is. They review it. You send them a website beforehand, a video going through the IUL beforehand. What are kind of your
Oh,
three?
is just that stuff? Yeah, yeah. So it's really simple. 401k goes up and down like a EKG machine. So I'm painting that picture. It's a phone call, right? So
Got
your
it.
401k, like is going up or down like a EKG. You know what that is? Yeah.
That's
Okay,
good.
cool. So you know what an IUL does is it goes up kind of like a staircase, right? Sometimes I'm talking to people and they're driving, right? Truckers and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what an EKG looks like? And they're like, yeah, that thing's up and down. Yeah, perfect. We don't want that. We're gonna do like more like a staircase where it's gonna go up or level, but never down or backwards. Simple. People are in the grocery store. People are with kids. They're gonna remember certain touch points, EKG or staircase. So just painting that little picture. Um, so really simple. You pick the monthly payment. So you told me that you're saving X. Do you want to look at an illustration for just that? Or at the end of the day, I tell all my clients to go with what is comfortable for them. And I know that's subjective, but if you ask me what a monthly car payment is that's comfortable, I would say 1,500 a month, and most people would freak out. So for you, client, what's your comfortable monthly premium that you want me to illustrate and put together for you specifically? And they tell me a number. And then I'm like, okay, when we get on that Zoom, write down 2 things for me. If you could write down, just in case I forget, which I never do because it's the first thing I say anyway. But if you could write down 2 things for me, write down overfunding and write down flexible premiums. A lot of people won't tell you about that, but I'm going to share that with you on the Zoom. So make sure you show up, and I'm gonna go over those things with you.
Little curiosity hook you do there.
Right. I told them something, but I really didn't tell them anything. The marketing for the lead flow kind of tells them the differences between IULs and 401ks. So almost like we're kind of like regurgitating the same information back to them and asking if they have clarity on questions or whatnot. Questions or most people have like they want a summary. So I just keep it very simple. The monthly payment goes in, a little bit of it goes to insurance, the rest of it compounds interest. You could put more into it if you want to and overfund it. You could put little less into it. If you're a younger person, do you have kids? Yes. Okay. Do you have any other types of life insurance? No. Okay, great. We're going to talk about that on the Zoom. Honestly, I ask it just for conversation, but I forget about it by the time I get on the Zoom. Because I really like I should probably do better in writing it down, but it usually comes up again in conversation. Like if I talk to a 38-year-old and he has 2 kids, he's going to mention it again when I get to the beneficiaries, or when I'm structuring the annuity, I'm structuring the illustration, it's going to pop up again. I could get better at that, but I just don't. I've never done it before, so I'm not going to really change anything that's not broken just yet. Um, but yeah, I ask those basic things, and then when we get into the Zoom, I share my screen and show them everything. And I show them everything also from like not just the carrier that we're looking at in the illustration, but I also I keep tabbing over to my calendar. So
Okay.
if we're like 15, 20 minutes in and we're not past or out of the illustration and already doing the app, I'm tapping my calendar so they could see I'm busy because I'm usually back to back on Zooms or calls. And they're like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's my next appointment after you. So are you actually serious about moving forward or are we just asking questions? And then they're like, "Oh no, I'm serious." Okay, great. Then from this point forward, we need to kind of get into it, or we're just gonna have to stop right now. And that's and they're like, okay. And then I'm like, all right, great. I'm gonna go ahead and open the application. We're gonna put this thing together for you. I don't like a lot of small talk. I'm a guy, right? I don't like a lot of small talk, so I'm not gonna do it. I just want to focus on your case. So indirectly, it's kind of like telling the client, like, hey, there's gonna be silence, like dead air, and that's
I'm gonna
okay
work
because I
your behalf.
told you about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I told you I was gonna be quiet because I'm a guy and I can't multitask. And usually I'm multitasking like on overdrive. Like I'm doing an application, I'm talking to an agent, I'm texting on WhatsApp, I'm all over the place while I'm doing an app. But if I'm talking also, it would be too much. It wouldn't be able to talk, text, and message at the same time. So yeah, that's what I
Awesome.
do just to get the client to kind of be quiet.
So, okay, policy gets in. What are your any tie downs, any touch points, takeaways, staff follow up, thank you cards, brownies, flowers? What is your post or closing the sale, then post sale process to keep that persistency high?
Post-sale process, once they get approved, I say, I send that text message or give them a call, say, "Hey, I'm honestly so thankful you just got approved." Whether if especially if you're like a smoker or had other issues going on, man, I am so surprised that you got approved. Thanks for going through the steps of like the telephone interviews, APS, whatever it may be. But I'm very thankful that you got it. This is a policy that you can't get again. I'm honestly surprised even that you got it. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, they don't really take a lot of 50-year-old smokers nowadays. Like IULs they're hard to get, right? And that's my lockdown. Then I tell them, hey, my team is gonna send you a note probably in about 3 weeks. It's just like a thank you, like thank you if you have any questions about your policy, and then you're not gonna hear from me again until your next birthday, and it's not gonna be me requesting anything. It's just saying me happy birthday. What and literally I write them out. Like my kids stamp them. They have all these birthday cards, so they stamp them, and then I just sign it and I usually have it say like, reach out if you need anything or something like that. It just has my name and a little stamp, and then I just sign it, and then it gets mailed out. But I tell the client like, you're gonna get that birthday wish. It's not me asking for anything at all. And they're like, oh, but if clients usually bring it up, but what if I know somebody? Oh, if you know somebody, yeah, yeah, give them my number. But I'm never gonna ask you for that. And they're like, all right, cool, Tierra, thanks. I'm like, yeah. Now, last year I was doing like a referral program sort of thing or whatever, and you know, um, I was doing like a $25 gift card or something like that. This lady took me to the bank, man. She gave me a whole bunch of referrals, probably like 40 or 50 referrals from one lady. She was like, and they're all still on the books, like people from her church, her family, all of that. But it was just one client that felt like she was being sold the wrong product for years and years and years, term products that ended, different things. So when I showed this to her, although it wasn't a majorly big policy, um, and I was very patient, right? I had 3 Zooms with her for a small policy, value or whatnot.
Sure.
But that one lady turned into like 60 that
Wow.
were all over the place. They were from 50 to 1,000 to 2,000. I mean, they were all over the place. Um, and every person I talked to, they were like, yeah, Bianca, that's the lady's name. She was like, Bianca told me you were very patient, and you are very patient. One of my clients said, you do roll your eyes a little bit. And I said, oh, that's probably not at you though. I'm doing other things. So it could have been like a text message. Oh no, that's fine, sweetie. And I was like, okay. So I'm mindful of that? Yeah, sometimes because I'm not looking at the Zoom. I'm looking at the data.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, so as we finish up, what is some final advice you've got to the new agents out there, that are getting started, or the existing agents that are just kind of floating at that 5, 10, 15 a month, but want to kick in the next gear, but have fears, doubts, and worries, and then they hear your story and you're all polished and driven. I mean, what would be some advice you'd have for all of them?
Um, First, make sure you have the proper lead flow.
Got it.
And don't turn it off. So if you're not getting like if you should be getting at least, and I think it's basic that I do with my team is like you should be the mindset, right? Is you should make at least make your lead flow pay back, right? Like when you're in a W-2 job, you get paid, you pay your bills, and you're broke, right? That's W-2 life. So in this world, you should pay your bills, you should pay your lead flow, and if you're broke, that's okay because you're actually still in business because you paid your lead flow. You have the chance to get better.
Yeah.
So I usually say give yourself 90 days, at least 90 to 120 days to at least get better. But if you're paying your bills and you're paying your leads and you're still not, turning that profit, you need to reach up to somebody who's doing it at a high level in your org or outside the org to help you get over where you're losing the client. A lot of my agents sometimes, they're losing the client at the discovery call. And I'm like, how are you losing them there? You didn't tell them anything. I don't tell anybody really anything at the discovery call. It's kind of like a 7 minute, for me, it's like a 7 minute discovery call just to hook you to get to the Zoom. So have consistent lead flow. Don't give up on yourself too early. It does take time to feel comfortable and to get comfortable at this. If you're only trying to do IULs and you're not comfortable on the phone, you should go dial some final expense and do final expense to cash flow yourself. Because it's an easier product. Death, what's your monthly payment? How much you can qualify for? Like it's really, one, two, three. It's pretty simple. Um, and then I don't know, just
Get
I
out.
don't want to like never overtrain,
Got it.
because if you overtrain too in IULs and annuities, you're gonna be like mind boggled with all these word tracks that are all over the place, and it's really not that complicated.
That's
Just
awesome.
yeah, man, just kind of I like on my side, we're always telling agents like just try to keep it as simple as possible, and just be consistently boring.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Not too high, not too low, controlled, like a doctor, right? Doctor doesn't come in and go, you've got cancer, or you don't have cancer. He comes in, he goes, test for negative, stay on your vitamins and let's and work out, stuff.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to hear, man. It's just, hearing you from stage to now, I think that we're going to see a trend of people, and people are going to be like, I'm doing it the Tierre method, right? Where they're going to go travel for a month or two or three and sell and realize the true virtualness of this business now. And you are the first one I've known to do it at this level. And I've met a lot of agents. And so I'm just cheers to you for having the drive, foresight. I'm sure it was not easy in the beginning, figuring it out and getting to Wi-Fi and figuring out VPNs and figuring out how to get logins.
Oh yeah.
And all the things. And then the carriers are like, you submitted 3 apps and it looks like you're in Peru, sir. Is that correct?
Yeah, no,
I
and then I was like, oh man, I need to VPN to the US or like, certain annuity carriers, you can't submit international, right? So I VPN to the US and,
yeah.
all kinds of stuff. Or like there was one time I remember in Greece too, like the Wi-Fi was so bad. So I went to the US consulate. I was like, hey, I need space for like an hour. And they were like, you're a US citizen. I showed them my passport and they were like, yeah, what do you need it for? I said, I have an important meeting I need to be on. And it was an IUL presentation. But they put me in like a little space where I could have it. They said, you have it for 55 minutes. I said, don't worry, I'll be done in 30. And I just had my laptop, baseball cap, a polo, and flip-flops. There was no official business. There was nothing. I had 55 minutes to knock this out. But yeah, you can do this job from wherever. Just be mindful of your time zones. And it's made like I'm old school, so I was like, obviously my phone was connected to the time somewhere else. My laptop I kept on East Coast, but then I would be confused all the time. Like, is it 4? Is it 6? Is it? I had no idea. So I had a piece of paper that I always kept with me, and on that piece of paper, one of my admins wrote it up and said, if it's 4 p.m. where you are, it's this time on the East Coast, and it's this time in California. And I would just be like, Oh, okay. I'm in the right time zone, you know, because
There you go. The daylight
yeah.
savings times comes in, and then everything gets shifted an hour, and
Oh,
you're.
is it complete
Yeah.
disaster? Yeah, complete disaster. Yeah.
I love it, man. Well, thank you so much. I love to have you on again in the future, hearing about how you're building your team at such a high level. But this was wonderful. I truly think you've opened the eyes of so many agents, and that's what our goal is. How do we look at this business, appreciate this business, and then go crush it? And I just appreciate your time. Thank you for everything. Everybody, drop a TB in the chat below. Show Tierre some love, and let's go make it a huge week, huge month, and go crush it the rest of this year. Thank you, Tierre. Appreciate you all, and
Appreciate it, man.
let's make it a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. That was awesome.